inspect the Nubian footprints exhibition for himself. Much as he wanted to, he had no choice but to chew over the times and content himself with this outside view, extraordinary though it was. The wind off the Hudson stoked the embers of his hair as he scanned the shattered facade. The article proposed that the thieves had smashed through the centre's eastern side by way of a small controlled explosion and an ultralight airborne craft, snatching the Star of Eby and making off over the river. Scanning the whole, Ben wondered whether the article was simply the product of a baffled police department and an insatiable press, both of which had to offer some theory to the New York populace. In the long shadow of 9/11 and other more recent terrorist attacks, the NYPD would hasten to calm the public's fears about any explosion in the Big Apple, no matter how minor, how local it seemed. This probably explained the evening edition's colourful headline: "The Chelsea precinct quick to present the baying media with the possible reason for the blasts." Except that there weren't any. There was only the wind to hear him, the wind to confirm or deny it, but the shattered glass above him reflected the naked truth. He was long in the tooth and sharp enough to see that no explosion had caused the destruction before him. No smoke had stained the Javits Center. He saw no trace of melted glass. Shards glittered on the sidewalk and in the road, most of it swept behind a feeble-looking and unattended police barrier propped in the lee of the building. The debris supported the article's claim that the thieves had fled the exhibition this way, but the fact seemed as lonely as an abandoned lighthouse. Whoever, he suppressed the thought, whatever, had broken in and out of the centre last night, they had done so with nothing more than balls, weight, and velocity. That raised all kinds of questions, questions that Ben didn't like. He reached into his jacket and flipped out the Times, once again scanning the piece. Now it read more like a Hollywood film script than anything approaching the truth. Was this a case of smoke without fire? Was the latest Fulk just trying to scare him, put him on the back foot with lies? "You're reading your own death warrant." But that would only be true if... No, that was bullshit. He wasn't about to believe it. Ben looked up at the dark, silent maw in the face of the Javits Center. Now it was grinning down at him, each plate-glass fang gleaming with secrets, hinting at events that were logically absurd. The wind blew. The river reeked. The endless traffic shuddered by. His sixth sense buzzed with change, regardless. Change and danger. Change and threat. His breath struggled from his throat, his lungs feeling tight and shrunken. He rubbed his neck without realizing he was doing so. In all the confusion, the Slayer's boasts and the fight in the bar, Ben realized he had overlooked a part of that threat, a grim implication in Fulk's mockery. "Is it because of your woman? Is that why you returned?" His breath escaped him in a single word. "Rose." The bike wove in and out of the traffic, a fly buzzing through a herd. Tail lights watched the Harley-Davidson roar up behind them like devil eyes, an infernal blur winking out as the bike sped past. Low in the saddle, helmetless, Ben squinted into the wind. The steer skull hanging from the crossbar rattled and danced in the churned-up spray and billowing fumes. The squeal of brakes on either side, joined by a symphony of horns and profanities, promised police attention, and sooner rather than later, but Ben refused to slow down. The thought of Rose in danger outweighed all other concerns. Stealing the bike had only been an afterthought. It was no great trick to rummage in the Slayer's pockets and relieve him of his keys. He could have reached the Javits Center more quickly, of course, but the direct route, during rush hour on Friday night, would have seen Ben make his own headline and across the front of the very rag that currently spurred him to action. He wasn't sold on the whole discretion is the better part of valor thing. Sometimes